creepy and cool TikToks that will blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
If only the walls could talk.
High school sleepover ended up causing over a dozen pregnancies. Here's what went down. A local high school held a senior sleepover co-ed, boys and girls. Now, at that age, hormones are running wild. You know what I mean. The students thought it would be fully supervised. Adults, chaperones, the whole deal, no way anything could go wrong.
Probably 12 pregnancies, 2 baby daddies. I don't know.
Florida now allows residents to openly carry firearms. Since September 25th, people in the state of Florida can legally carry their weapons in plain view in most public spaces, including streets, highways, and parking lots. There are still exceptions, though. Guns remain banned in schools, hospitals, courthouses, police stations, prisons, airport terminals, bars, and professional sporting events. On private property, businesses and owners get to decide. They can allow open carry, prohibit firearms entirely, just like Disney World does, or require customers to keep weapons concealed, which is the policy at most Walmart stores. The move, announced by Florida's Republican Attorney General, has split law enforcement.
Is that a silencer?
Some sheriffs say they won't stop or charge anyone openly carrying a handgun in public, while others argue the law is unclear and needs further direction from lawmakers. Legislators are expected to revisit the issue in the next session.
What's up? An armed society is a safe society. And there's someone out there thinking this guy is cool. What a sad generation we live in.
Bro, holidays in China are terrifying. The country is currently having their Golden Week national holiday spanning a massive 8 days. But when you have a light population of 1.4 billion and they're all trying to travel across the country to enjoy a vacation, boy, you get chaos. Bro, this has to be one of the craziest traffic jams I've seen in my life. How many lanes is even that? Oh, and that's just the people driving. Most people in China take trains, and because of that, their national railway saw a record-breaking 23.13 million trips in a single day. That has never happened before. That's like the entire population of Australia all getting on the train on the same day. And to make it even crazier, the Ministry of Transport are expecting to see a total of 2.36 billion passenger trips over this holiday period. Billion! And the thing is, China isn't even a stranger to this type of stuff, because in 2010, they experienced the worst traffic jam in history. It lasted 12 days.
My package is in China. My offender won't respond. Now I know. Jesus Christ is Lord.
This is the closest that we can get to Marie Antoinette's wedding gown. With real silver threads woven through the brocade, this magnificent gown was worn in 1774 by Duchess Hedvig Elizabeth Charlotta, the future Queen of Sweden. It paid homage to the gown worn by Marie Antoinette's sister-in-law, the Comtesse d'Artois, at her own wedding in 1773, and is remarkably similar to descriptions of Marie Antoinette's own wedding dress. And why is it so tiny? Not because people in the past were smaller, but because these were all teenage brides.
She wasn't a teenager. She was literally a child bride.
Eerie and unsettling, they give you a glimpse into just how heavy his inner world really is. Every morning, every night, he has to face these faces and hear their endless whispers. Could you imagine living like that, day in and day out? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
Only Jesus Christ can heal him.
This one is crazy. Oh man. You know, I was expecting like the 16th floor or
How
something.
powerful are humans in the eyes of cats? Scientists have found that only dolphins, chimpanzees, and elephants show true self-awareness in mirrors. Cats, however, don't actually know they are cats. To them, they're simply four-legged creatures, while humans are large two-legged beings. But cats do recognize one thing. Both cats and humans share the duty of guarding their territory. Inside the home, though, there's a hierarchy. Humans are the high-level guardians, while cats see themselves as the ultimate guardians. For example, many people have noticed this. When the food bowl is empty, the cat comes to call you. When it wants the balcony door opened, it calls you again. The cat will first lead you to the problem spot, show you what's wrong, then look at you to make sure you've understood, and finally expect you to fix it. In a cat's eyes, you are the food provider, the all-powerful two-legged being. Some cats even believe you control natural forces. If they see you can turn the shower on and off, then, on a rainy day when they want sunshine, they may hope you can make the rain stop. That's also why cats greet each other with nose touches, but greet humans with meows. They know humans are a different kind of being. This also explains why, when visitors come to your home, shy or anxious cats often hide. They feel that high-level cats like you should handle those other humans. But if another cat comes over, they might actually attack, because they recognize it as just another ultimate cat. And why is it that most cats never bully babies?
Okay. This is crazy,
This
folks.
was the last time the French guillotine carried out its duty in public. In June 1939, the condemned man, Eugen Weidmann, never closed his eyes. Having been sentenced to death for multiple violent crimes, his rapid breathing betrayed the fear inside. Meanwhile, outside, a few staff were busy around a wooden frame. The sound of metal parts clinking stood out sharply in the silence. What they were assembling was the guillotine, which France had used for nearly 150 years. Its blade gleamed coldly,
Oh my
as if
goodness.
bearing the weight of centuries of French order and deterrence. Following prison procedure, a dark suit was handed to him. This was not a special tradition, but a way to let him keep his dignity in his final moments. Having stayed awake all night, his eyes were vacant and his steps unsteady. He needed support
bad.
just to stand. At the end of the corridor, a priest stood waiting with a scripture. In the soft murmur of
Keep your hands on the range. You almost took out 3 cars back there. Dismount and step down, now.
Sorry, man, I just,
Don't move. Range strap's tight. Unclip it right now.
Last night, the solar system held its breath. At 4 o'clock Universal Time, October 3rd, the interstellar comet known as 3I/ATLAS swept past Mars. It was the closest approach it would ever make to any planet in its one-way journey through our system. For months, astronomers had prepared for this moment, but no one, not NASA, not ESA, not even the most seasoned comet trackers, was ready for what unfolded. As the comet's icy body slipped silently through the void, passing just 29 million kilometers from Mars, every spacecraft orbiting the red planet turned its eyes to the visitor. Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, Mars Express, MAVEN, the Trace Gas Orbiter. All of them had instruments primed. On the dusty Martian plains, rovers like Perseverance were given secondary listening duties, their sensors tuned to the faintest atmospheric changes. Humanity had never been closer to studying an interstellar traveler in real time, and for a while, everything looked normal. A dim emerald glow, a thin halo of dust, a long tail pointing back toward the sun. Ordinary, until it wasn't. The comet brightened, slowly at first, then dramatically, as though some hidden switch had been thrown. Its coma expanded, glowing with an intensity that forced instruments to recalibrate midstream. Jets of gas erupted from beneath its crust, not the usual water vapor, but bursts of carbon dioxide and cyanogen, molecules rarely seen in such
Cyanogen.
quantities. Spectrographs lit up with signatures scientists had only modeled in theory. To mission controllers, it felt less like a comet passing a planet, and more like a visitor announcing itself. Then came the auroras. Mars, with its thin atmosphere and patchy magnetic fields, rarely hosts them. Yet in the hours surrounding the flyby, instruments detected sudden ultraviolet glows rippling across its night side. Auroras danced far brighter than any solar event could have caused. The source was traced back to the comet's passage. It was as if 3 I/ATLAS had brushed against the planet's atmosphere and left it humming. But the real shock came minutes later. Fragments began to break away from the comet's nucleus. HiRISE, orbiting high above Mars, caught the shimmering shards as they spiraled off. But instead of drifting...
So somebody pointed this out to me the other day and it blew my mind. Now behind me you have all these different nations. You got Palestine, Sudan, United Emirates, you have Jordan, Kuwait, and on the list goes. Syria, Yemen, so on and so on, right? Now, what's the one thing they all have in common besides them having the same color flags, right? They're all Muslim countries. They're Islam, right? Now, with that being said, where can we find this kind of, color pattern in the Bible? Where can we link this? If we are for sure getting closer to the end times, where can we find this at? Now, one thing that blew my mind is that the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse in the Bible, the color of every one is the exact 4 colors of these nations, which is basically all these nations together. It's just Islam, okay? It's one religion, right? That blew my mind. Could this be possibly a sign from God? Because God wouldn't just make up colors just to have colors. Let's check out what these horsemen look like now. Now, let's take a look at these horsemen, right? So the white horse, conquest. The rider is described as bent on conquest and often interpreted as representing military invasion, but also sometimes associated with the Antichrist or the spread of the gospel, right? Let's move on to the red one. Let's see what this has to say. The red horse of war. The rider has the power to take peace from the earth and stir up violence, representing bloodshed, conflict, and civil strife. Kind of sounds like what's coming, you know what I mean? The black horse, famine. The rider holds a pair of scales, signifying the severe scarcity of food due to wars, which leads to high prices and economic hardship. I mean, are the prices not going up right now? And the pale horse, sometimes often viewed as a pale green color. The final horseman explicitly represents death, with Hades, the realm of the dead, following behind. They are given authority to kill a quarter of the earth through various means, including sword, famine, pestilence, and wild beasts. I don't think we're there yet, but in my opinion, I do think a couple of these horses have been let loose. But that's just my opinion. I could be 100% wrong, but I'm just thinking here, guys. I mean, these colors, the horsemen, and all these Islamic flags, I mean, I don't think God just makes up these colors for no reason. I don't think it's a coincidence that one of the biggest enemies of the Christians is Islam, and they happen just to be those colors. I don't know. I'm just thinking here. Let me know your opinion.
The colors of 4 horsemen.
Boys, that's dopamine. Dopamine provides you with a little bit of pleasure on top of a whole lot of pain.
When I look at this word, the hostage brain, I think of all the times that I've been out of control. What do you mean by the hostage brain?
All of us want to be in control, Stephen. I mean, it's the nature of humanity. If you're in control, your level of threat goes down. But really, your control is an illusion. You really don't have control. And the more you try to exert it, the more you realize you're not in control. And what that does is that generates an enormous amount of stress and an enormous amount of pain. That pain can turn inward, and we call that depression. How do you basically deal with the psychological pain of lack of control? Well, we have loads of ways. Cocaine, amphetamine, nicotine, alcohol, sugar, gambling, social media, internet gaming, pornography. Pick your poison. That's dopamine. Dopamine provides you with a little bit of pleasure on top of a whole lot of pain. The problem is that dopamine is addictive. And so when you apply a set of pleasures to try to deal with your pain of lack of control, that puts you into a never-ending cycle of consumption, and misery. That's the hostage brain.
So what's the solution, sir?
Mariah Carey just had this big $20 million. That's like a huge deal, right?
So you feeling that?
The public sees the word $20 million an album. Well,
let's see. Do you all think that's a good deal?
I mean, tell me why. I mean, what am I missing?
Okay, let's do some math. If you signed me to a record company or a record deal, how much would you give me? The album sells for $18, right? $18?
Whatever. Yeah.
All right. How much of that would you give me?
Half.
Half? Half sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Check this out. If I sell 1 million copies, I'm gonna have $10 million, right? Roughly $10 million.
Right.
If I sell 2 million copies, I got $20 million. If I just sell 3 million copies, I got $30 million. Now who has the biggest record deal? Right? So Mariah kind of got screwed.
We're completely
Ooh. You know, that's why they took him
cooked.
out.
We are cooked. This was the straw on the camel's back, and now it's been announced. Oh, I said to you guys, this is going to get worse before it gets better. Right, so there's a mandatory digital ID that's been announced by the Prime Minister, which will be introduced for all adults in the UK. Expected announcement from the Prime Minister as early as tomorrow morning. The reason why this didn't pass before is because it was a breach of people's private and civil liberties. And now it's just been approved by... Oh my God, this guy, man. What is he doing? He's going to cause an... I'm not even going to say the words. So the purpose of government... The justification behind this is to reduce illegal immigration and tackle the small boats crisis. So giving everyone a digital ID is going to tackle the small boats crisis, which will have access to what? My banking information, my whereabouts, my travel, where I'm going. Really? My credit score? We know we have to leave the ECHR to get control of our borders. That's the only way around this. Because until you leave the ECHR, they're just going to circumnavigate and use the laws of the European Commission of Human Rights to keep people here. So until we leave that, there's no... What did I tell you guys before? If we don't leave the ECHR, there is no solution. They are outright lying, saying that this is the solution by giving everyone a digital ID when it didn't pass before because it was a breach of people's personal privacy. And now that's being passed tomorrow morning. Focus on removing the pull factor ability to work illegally in the UK. Employers and landlords will use a smartphone app to verify legal status. Government argues it will also help legal residents prove their right to work or rent more easily. Tony Blair has long advocated for ID cards as way to curb illegal working. The UK has historically resisted ID cards due to civil liberty concerns and doubts over effectiveness. France and other European countries already operate national ID systems, including but not limited to communist-run China. Will it actually stop the small boats? Well, we know that. It's not going to, because we need to leave the ECHR to get a grip on the situation. I'm very curious to see what Nigel Farage says about this, because this is not good. Again, if no backlash, disappointment and accusations of civil liberty erosion without solving the issue, again, it's not going to solve the issue. Concerns about state surveillance, privacy and loss of freedoms. Potential political backlash from those who view this as creeping authoritarianism. And that was said by Sky News. Okay, so, I mean, it's called the BRIC card. And we're going to get an announcement on when it's going to be pushed upon every single adult in this country tomorrow morning by the Prime Minister himself.
That's crazy.
Crazy times we're living in, guys. I'm genuinely shocked by this. I mean, I knew something like this was going to come down the door. And some of these people, even Andrew Tate was saying that this was going to happen, and now look what's happening. You might not like what he says, but that's what's happening. Digital ID.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm done. You heard it first from DK.
I'm not doing it. I hope I'm not here anymore.
Do you know about alchemical sexual alchemy?
Sexual alchemy.
Yeah, there is a substance or liquid or a substance that comes from your medulla, which is basically completely looks like the Ark of the Covenant. Has angel's wings around it. The whole thing. Your medulla is shaped.
Now, is this what Michael Jackson used to call Jesus juice?
Yeah. There's 33 vertebrae in your spine. There's 33 years in the life of Jesus. So this substance comes from your medulla, makes the trip down your spine to your sacrum, which is
quick, got a dictionary.
Christ coming down into human form.
Yeah.
And if you don't squander that essence, that sexual essence, it ascends again and goes back up to heaven, which is your thing. It's also the story of Santa Claus. Why he comes down the chimney is because this juice or this whatever substance actually passes what's called the claustrum, which is where they got Santa Claus. So it goes down the chimney and back up the chimney. It's all very freaky shit.
The fact that they're not listening.
This is the Great Pyramid of Giza, or the Pyramid of Khufu, built between 2580 and 2560 BC, allegedly, for Pharaoh Khufu. This is 2.5 million blocks, plus or minus, and each of these blocks are plus or minus 2.5 tons. And this right here is the original entrance, a limestone. All this is limestone, and the whole pyramid had a flat casing, a flat limestone casing, and it was smooth. It didn't look jagged like that originally. I went inside, and I went to see for myself what was going on with these pyramids on the inside too. Look how deep this goes. Look how big these rocks are, these stones are. This is called the Robbers Tunnel, which was made in the 9th century. Grave robbers or grave digger people were trying to steal Khufu's stuff. And this is a very narrow path right here. This is like 4 feet, maybe 4.5 feet, and it's a tight fit. Very very exhausting to get up here too. And this part looks suspicious to me. This looks like some major technology was used to carve this out. How did they do this in the 9th century? Or if this is original, how did they pull this off? How did the Egyptians do this? This coming up is the King's Chamber. A lot of crawling. And this right here is black granite, quarried 560 miles south in Aswan, Egypt. Now, I have no problems with saying that they renovated this and added grout in between the granite blocks to make it more tight, but they did a lot of renovations in these sites, these Egypt temples and stuff, and it's highly annoying. Just leave it as it is. If it's a safety issue, okay, but stop messing with it. So how do they make these blocks? How do they get these blocks here for 560 miles? They said they used Nile boats. Like some of these blocks are like 70 tons. They just put them on Nile boats and just moved them up. And this right here is the sarcophagus of Khufu. They never found his body. It's possible that they did find his body and the grave diggers stole it, or the grave robbers stole it. It's possible. They didn't find any hieroglyphs in any of these pyramids. Why did they build the pyramids? I don't think the pyramids are just tombs for royalty. I think that's fake history. And I'm gonna make a whole video about the pyramids in general. What I think they are, why they were built, who built them, and when they were built. This is just an intro video to the pyramid saga, the pyramid arc of my content. This is me on the way out. This was a good workout, and met some people in the pyramid, and it's a good time. It's a good time. So stay tuned for more.
Maybe we are living in a what he says, apocalyptic world.
You're not saying the shape affects us, right?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Have you ever wondered why everything around you is a cube? Prisons, schools, offices, homes, all square, all boxed in. Ever ask why? Because cubes trap energy. Ancient civilizations knew this. That's why their temples, their homes, never square. Their roofs pointed to the sky, allowing energy to flow. They understood something we've been made to forget. If you could astral project into a prison, you'd see it, feel it. The energy, stagnant, suffocated, unable to escape. That's the point. Control, containment, compression. Now look around you. Look at your walls. your city skyline. A grid of squares, a world of boxes. Do you think that's by accident?
It does seem sketchy.
See? The ancients built for the mind. They understood that your environment shapes your thinking. You surround people with beauty, with complexity, with wonder, and they think bigger, dream bigger. But if you surround them with lifeless boxes, you limit them. You keep them small. Everything we see molds our minds.
You know, almost all the presidential offices are round or oval, right? Oh, come on, man.
Like you don't care
Oh,
about
my God, sound like a baby too.
AIDS. You know
This is
you
crazy,
have
folks.
STD. Yes, you did. I showed you the paperwork. They don't give you antibiotics for nothing, Phil. Look at them, y'all. This out here gave me 12 STDs in 6 months. This man gave me AIDS.
Tell you anything telling you that I tested positive for AIDS?
Hey, what you just say? Say that again for me. Say that again for me.
I was saying that I just came from the doctor.
Yeah.
And I tested positive for HIV, so you might want to go get checked out.
HIV.
I had already been seeing stuff, but I just didn't want to say nothing until I honestly knew what it really was. So yeah, you just go get checked. Go to the hospital, go get checked, and tell your baby mama. You might want to tell your baby mama to go get checked too.
Man, hell no, you better not ever play. Stop playing with me, you better not gave me shit, boy. It's gonna go down, boy.
What you mean stop playing with you? I'm not playing with you. This is real life. I'm not even trying to be funny or nothing. I'm
Boy.
trying to let you know. I didn't have to tell you nothing. To kill
Boy, if you gave me anything, your ass going to jail.
Those words came through a phone speaker in Houston, Texas. And what followed was a nightmare that thousands of people are living right now.
You gave it to me. So, after the 6 man, I don't want to hear none of that. You gave it to me, man. I don't want to hear none of that. You a narcissist. You acting delusional right now. You know you gave that to me, man.
She looks so young.
You know you did. Stop with all the lies, man.
Atlanta and Houston, they are at third world country levels of HIV outbreaks.
HIV is running rampant out here in the streets.
I am begging you to put yourself first and be safe out here when HIV is at an all-time high.
We're talking about an outbreak so massive, so out of control that health experts are calling it third world country levels. Over 200,000 people in Houston alone testing positive for HIV. And that's just the ones who actually went to get tested. Imagine the ones who haven't, the ones who don't even know they're walking around spreading it. This isn't just a health crisis anymore. This is a full-blown epidemic hiding in plain sight. And it's tearing lives apart one positive test at a time. Let me tell you something. The video started surfacing online like wildfire. Real people, real conversations, real devastation. And the first one that really caught everybody's attention was a phone call that nobody ever wants to make. A woman calls up the man.
Ooh. But you know, 12 STDs in 6 months, you know, the first one. What about Obama?
It's really getting creepy at this point, you all, because what happened to Mandy Moore? Who is this on the right? That is the Mandy Moore I remember. You know, the Mandy Moore that was in a movie like A Walk to Remember, because this doesn't even look like the same person at all. Like, what is going on anymore in Hollywood? And for people claiming that it's just age, this was from earlier this year, back in April of 2025. So again, what is going on here? Because this looks like a different person right here compared to the current version. I don't know. You tell me what is going on, because again, there is something weird going on in Hollywood with all of these celebrities looking different. What exactly could be causing this? Maybe it's just them aging, right? Right?
That's Mandy Lash.
This scene in Doctor Strange 2 isn't just fan service. It's actually a lot deeper than you think. Let me break it down.
Stephen Strange, you are now called before the Illuminati.
See, they call themselves
What?
the Illuminati, the Enlightened Ones. Historically, that name points to secret elites claiming hidden knowledge. Spiritually, Scripture warns that Satan masquerades as an angel of light. Now, Revelation chapter 17, verse 9 and 10 really gives the full frame of this scene. It says, "Here is the mind which has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits. There are also 7 kings. 5 have fallen, 1 is, and the other has not yet come. And when he comes, he must continue for a short time."
What is
In
this?
Scripture, mountains often picture dominions and kingdoms. Revelation then shifts from mountains to kings, the ruler of these domains. Now watch the pattern. The first one to go is Black Bolt. He represents the voice.
Wanda, Black Bolt could destroy you with one whisper from his mouth.
What mouth?
Oh. Oh, man.
Next is Reed Richards. He represents human intellect. Captain Carter, she represents symbol or legacy.
Ooh. God.
Captain Marvel, she represents borrowed power or cosmic power. And then Professor X, he represents the mind / consciousness.
Ooh.
Now the verse says that 5 have fallen, but 1 remains. Who's the one that remains? It's Mordo. Check this out.
I think I'm beginning to understand why your Mordo didn't like you very much.
He's a judiciary presence, still technically in place, yet powerless to stop the deception. Then the verse continues and it says, "The other has not yet come, and when he comes, he must continue a short time." So after the 5 fall and Mordo remains, a new figure rises, Doctor Strange himself. But notice how. He uses the Darkhold and commits necromancy, basically dreamwalking in a corpse, and he wins with forbidden power.
Dreamwalking, you hypocrite.
That reign is brief, though, because Wanda eventually stops him and the Darkhold is destroyed. His power collapses and Strange's moment ends. That's the short time that Revelation describes. A counterfeit rise through sorcery, cut short under judgment. So who does Wanda represent? She represents the Scarlet Woman that is represented in the whole book chapter of Revelation 17 and 18. Revelation 18:23 says the nations are deceived by sorcery. That's exactly how Wanda moves. Deception empowered by forbidden magic. Now if you put it all together, mountains and kings stand in their own light, then 5 fall, 1 remains, and another rises briefly by sorcery. This message aligns with Revelation's warning. Human wisdom, power, and thrones cannot stand against deception. Only the true light endures. Marvel calls it entertainment. Scripture calls it a warning. Don't follow false light. Follow Jesus, the light of the world. Follow God and Film for more.
Man, you connecting the dot like a ball.
Everything he's doing with Beyonce, he wanted to do it with someone else. He didn't even really like her. She's just the most cooperative. See?
Right. With Aaliyah specifically,
Yeah.
was part of the reason they...
Well, she rejected him.
When people see you together, they assume that, you know, you're dating or you're with that person. Then that's not the case with Jay and I.
Do you think part of with Aaliyah was to usher in Beyonce?
Well, it was definitely the great alternative move.
Right.
And like I said, she was the most cooperative. Z Unplugged. That legendary concert that he tries to shroud in secrecy, even still to this day, though it made him, and the only person's name that they said after his was mine.
I bet Jaguar, she's pretty amazing.
Yeah, voice is incredible, right?
Technically, that makes that show more mine than his, since I was only supposed to be a background singer. And yet, my legendary vocals is what made that a classic, and it's what made it possible for him to step into being seen as something more than a street corner killer. He was seen as an artist because of all of the great art from Philadelphia that was around him. Those weren't New York players, those were Philly players. See, that was the Roots agreeing to open up the floodgates with their influence in Philadelphia to let the Jigga Man come in and do whatever he wanted to do.
I know that there are people that trade things for power, sacrifices, child sacrifices, all that kind of stuff. But I've never really seen it. Yeah, I've heard about Bohemian Grove.
Right.
I know this runs rampant in Hollywood, the P. Diddy shit, music industry. Have you seen it?
No, not with my physical eyes, I have not.
Have you ever been approached?
I've been approached and invited to everything you can think of.
How does the approach happen? Do you know what it's going to be?
Most people don't. And that's why they go the first time, because it's pitched to you like this. Hey, man, congratulations on the career. You're doing great. You're Songwriter of the Year 3 years in a row. You guys just sold 7 million records. Hey, I'd like for you to be my guest, my personal guest. And this is like a head of a record label or the head of some big company or another really famous person, like some big time guy. And they will come to you with that and go, you be my guest. I'm going to take you there. I'm going to introduce you to everybody. It's going to be the greatest networking you've ever done in your life. Your career is going to explode. You're going to have opportunities you never even thought were possible because the people you're going to meet, and I'm going to make sure that they know how great you are. So what are you doing, the second weekend of October? That's the pitch. So how in the hell is anybody supposed to know there's a problem with that? It doesn't sound like there's a problem with that at all. It sounds like, wow, what an opportunity. And then they'll get them into those places. And from what I've heard from people who have been in those places, they say all manner of horrible things start breaking out in there. And you're going, what is going on? But now you're in it. Now you're standing there. Now it's happening. And I think it's a control mechanism.
Now you're on video.
They got you on video. Control mechanism. It's a way to co-opt people that they think, have sway and have swing and, have popularity or whatever. And then I guess ultimately it can be a way to blackmail people, get them to do things they want them to do. And when I was teenager, I remember my dad preaching about the importance of discernment. That discernment is a very serious thing to ask for, to pray for, to discern things, because the devil is so slick. He is literally 1 degree off of perfection with the way he presents things. Like he's the greatest counterfeit of all time. He's the greatest. It's like almost indistinguishable from the real thing. And so the question is, how do I know what I'm looking at? The answer is, you don't know what you're looking at. You don't have the capacity as a human being to understand what you're looking at. You don't possess that. But the Holy Spirit does. And so if you've given your life to Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit enters your life, the Holy Spirit is repulsed by those things. Whereas your physical being may not even know there's anything to be repulsed about. The Holy Spirit is absolutely not only repulsed, but enraged. Like that's the enemy. So I have asked for that. I have prayed for that since I was a late teen. Even in my crazy years and all that, when I would pray for that discernment. And I pray for it all the time now. But you tell me this, let me ask you a question. Have you ever walked into a room of people, and these are all upstanding people, and everybody in the room is supposed to be there, and you shake maybe 30 or 40 hands that night, and out of the 30 or 40 hands, 2 or 3 of them just make your skin crawl when you shook their hand and looked in their eyes? You ever had that happen?
Oh, yeah.
and you don't know why.
You can tell in his eyes he has seen, he has seen it firsthand. But I don't think he's telling the full truth. What do you think?
Did you know that intermittent hypoxia is the fastest way to become superhuman? It unlocks the ability to create stem cells in your body at a zero-cost method. It reduces stress. It allows you to be calm when everyone else is panicking. It creates peace when there's chaos. By doing continuous breathing like this, you drop the CO2 in your body, and then holding your breath on the exhale raises CO2 within the body, which creates a stress response. And then your body starts to produce endogenous drugs like EPO, stem cells, and growth hormone. They don't want you to know this because stem cells are $25,000 a pop. They don't want you to know this because it allows you to become superhuman and break free from the matrix. It allows you to remember who you are, who you've forgotten. It allows you to wake up after you've numbed yourself for so many years. If this message found you, it's the universe's way of letting you know that it's time to start breathing again. The way you breathe is the way you live. Make sure to follow me and like this content so you'll see more like it, and I'll teach you how to find your way back home to yourself.
So breathe in very deeply and very heavily for like a couple of minutes and hold your breath on an exhale. Is that right?
You see what Bill Gates is doing, right? Bill Gates is in Africa right now. He got this experiment where they're going to implant newborn babies in Kenya with this tracking device. And the Kenyan government is letting him do it. They're going to put tracking devices in the babies. But guess what else he's doing? He's working with the African Union. He's trying to force the African Union to stop all the farmers in Africa from using organic seed. He wants them to only use genetically modified seed that he sells them. They want to wipe us out through disease and starvation. They are also turning us into a landless race. When I was in the UK a few weeks ago, all I kept hearing about is how they gentrifying us. When I was in the Caribbean, Black Island, they gentrifying us. You feel me?
Yeah.
They want to make black people a landless people. And once we don't own no land, we effectively in slavery again. If you don't own any land, you are completely subject to the will of those who do.
Why the Africa government allowing it?
If they murdered 1 million people in Auschwitz using poison gas, why is there no trace of that gas in the buildings of Auschwitz today? It's the obvious things you overlook. And none of us historians thought of demanding that there should be tests carried out on the fabric of the gas chambers at Auschwitz. The buildings survive partly. They're in ruins, some of them, others are more or less intact. And eventually, in 1988, as part of this Canadian trial that I mentioned, the case against Ernst Zundel, the defense lawyers decided to send an expert in gas chambers over to Auschwitz. An expert in gas chambers. But you're only going to find that in the United States, of course, because only the United States gases people are present. So this expert in gas chambers, a man called Fred Leuchter, was sent over to Auschwitz to test the gas chambers of the Nazi concentration camp. Would these gas chambers work? Is there any trace of their having been used as gas chambers? Is there any residue of cyanide gas in the walls? All the obvious questions. And he came back and he wrote an affidavit for the court, which we eventually published as the Leuchter Report. Photographs of the buildings, photographs of the brickwork, photographs, the actual tests, the chemical tests carried out, the forensic tests carried out on the 48 samples that he brought back to the United States, bits of brickwork that he took out of the walls and submitted to the forensic laboratories in Cornell University that had tests carried out. And the result was that in 47 of the 48 samples, there wasn't the slightest significant trace of cyanide compound. In the 48th sample, there were colossal traces of cyanide, 141 milligrams of hydrogen cyanide or ferric ferrocyanide in every kilogram of brickwork. And what is the explanation of that result? Well, the answer is in that sample, he had taken out of a little gas chamber that was used for disinfesting clothing, killing the lice and the vermin in the prisoner's clothing. The clothing was stuffed into this little gas chamber, which looked like a gas chamber. He got a steel door with a peephole and ventilation systems and racks rather like a dry cleaners for wheeling the clothing in and out. And he took that sample out of that brickwork, and that's where the colossal cyanide was found. It's significant because all our opponents have said, you don't expect to find cyanide in the brickwork after 50 years. How absurd, how ludicrous. After 50 years of wind and rain, you're not going to find cyanide compounds, residue of a gas in the brickwork. And the answer is you do. And the proof of that answer is, first of all, they did find the residue in that little gas chamber. In fact, the walls of that little gas chamber were so soaked in cyanide compounds that they'd turned blue. Got photographs of it here. What those blue walls look like. You can see here. Color photographs of the little gas chamber in Auschwitz showing the blue stain on the walls where the cyanide has seeped through the brickwork, forming a compound called ferric ferrocyanide, which is otherwise known by the trade name of Prussian blue. It becomes so permanent it's actually used as a dyestuff. Prussian blue or Berliner Blau. And when this was denied, a brave German scientist called Germar Rudolph, and this is a sad story but an unhappy ending. Young Germar Rudolph, a young 28-year-old German chemist, a research chemist working at the Max Planck Institute in Germany. The Max Planck Institute is one of the most prestigious bodies with the kind of reputation of the National Institutes of Health here in Bethesda, Maryland. He decided to write his dissertation on that one subject, the permanence of cyanide compounds in brickwork. And having written his dissertation, he then allowed it to be circulated in printed form to 2,000 German chemists, professors of chemistry at universities, who confirmed that what he had written was true. Too late, the traditional enemy spotted what he did, and they had him dismissed from his position at the Max Planck Institute. The letters have now been published where they put pressure on the Max Planck Institute for him to be dismissed. And 1 month ago, young Germar Rudolph was sentenced by the German government to 14 months in prison for allowing his scientific report, his dissertation, to be published. Under the German laws for the suppression of free speech, he had infringed against those laws and he's now been sent to prison for 14 months for allowing his chemical results to be circulated to the professors of chemistry and physics in Germany.
I believe this is 5 years before I believe anyone else. And I never been there, but if you go there, you know, they explained that it was rebuilt after the war, not the original building.
This gas station is proof the elite have fake towns and cities set up. This might actually be a fake town / city set up by the elite. Why would there be cars parked at the gas pump and they have dust on them? So they've been there a while and nobody's around. As always, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Stay weird.
I think most fake towns are for filming. What do you think?
This woman could be one of the worst pedophiles in America. So this is Sierra Robertson. She is from the Seattle area. And recently authorities in Washington received a tip from an online chat service. And the contents of that tip were disturbing to say the least. Sierra, who worked as an after-school STEM instructor, which yes, meant she worked directly with children, was chatting with men online about how much she loved to sexually abuse babies. These chats also revealed the fact that Sierra had been trading CSAM or CP with other pedophiles online. And in the chats, she actually talked about how she preferred to molest babies because they essentially couldn't defend themselves. She also told these other pedophiles in these chats that she couldn't wait to have children of her own so that she could go on to molest them too. Now, this case is somewhat unique because we don't really see female pedophiles of this caliber. Usually when you see a news story like this, it's about a teacher who took advantage of a student. And I've covered many stories like this over the years, but this one is different because it's just so incredibly disturbing. Now, Sierra's bond was pretty high after she was initially arrested, but that bond was reduced to just $50,000, and she was able to pay that, and now Sierra is out of jail and just at her home. I'm going to keep following and reporting on this story because these, once again, are the people that are just out there. These are the people that are around you at all times, and people like this are drawn to positions where they're put with children, working with children, because they know that they have an extensive bank of children to draw from. And it's unknown at this point if she actually has abused any children. All those details are still sealed and under wraps. but I'm going to continue to report on this story because these issues are important to keep talking about, and it's important to expose these people. We do not have harsh enough penalties for individuals like this in America, and only through raising awareness can we hopefully change something in the future.
Jesus said it's better for them to drown themselves if they hurt little ones.
Everybody should have ivermectin in their home, and however you get it, get it. Even if you have to get it from a deworming animal tube, it's still ivermectin. It's like toothpaste with sugar. So those are anti-parasitical medicines for what's coming now are parasites, which are the shayateen and the jinns that nobody wants to talk about. So the concept of a parasite is something that clings on to you and hijacks your system. Well, that's what we call possession. So when you would see somebody possessed, and he's always majnoon, this person, because they're possessed by a parasitical being, which was a jinn, and very intelligent, because he could overtake the system and make every type of sickness and organs to begin to collapse. Now they don't believe in that, so they say, oh, some sort of small parasite has entered into you. I guess that's easier for them to say this little thing controls you versus just saying some jinn went into you. So then the medicines that worked best during those problem times was ivermectin, because it was cheap compared to the money they wanted to spend.
This disturbing video shocked the entire internet. A woman was on a flight when she suddenly noticed something strange. On the back of another passenger's head, there was a word written, "Help." She carefully called over a flight attendant and whispered, "That girl over there, something's wrong. I saw the word help on the back of her head." The flight attendant looked alarmed and decided to approach. She pretended she was just offering coffee, but most of her questions were directed at the girl. And then something odd happened. The man sitting next to her didn't let her answer a single word. He cut her off immediately. "No, we're fine. We don't need anything." But the flight attendant insisted. She wanted to hear it directly from the girl. At that point, other passengers started noticing that something wasn't right. The woman who first saw everything tried to step in. She said, "Excuse me, this is my seat. I need to sit here." The man snapped back, "No, you're not sitting here. She's staying where she is." A heated argument broke out. The situation spiraled out of control. The man began yelling, cursing, and acting aggressively. The girl looked terrified and stayed completely silent. Other passengers started to intervene, and chaos broke out in the cabin. Eventually, the woman was taken away, and most likely, police boarded the plane when it landed. What really happened remains unclear. But one thing is certain: always pay attention to what's happening around you. Someone nearby might desperately need your help. And if you want more scary, creepy videos every day, follow my second account. I post similar videos there too.
How did she write help on the back? You know, everything in line. I don't know, man.
Dude, this is so fucking demonic. It's creepy. Look here. And then I found these clips, and I just left speechless after watching them.
Is that what
These are
the?
so demonic. Okay. This has we all know. And we also saw him with Diddy. And okay. Halftime show. Okay, again, demonic concert. No, bro. Tell me what you all think about that. For me, he already sold out.
So evil, man. Diddy got him. Once Diddy gets you, you don't want
Welcome
the
to
same.
part 2 of the real reason that we invaded Iraq, because you and I have been lied to our entire lives. In part 1, we talked about how an archaeologist discovered the ancient city of Uruk in modern-day Iraq, and then he discovered the tomb of Gilgamesh, and coincidentally, a few months after, we invaded Iraq. Well, buckle up, because this goes so much deeper than just his tomb. Now for this video, we have to go back to the days immediately following the flood, and this brings us to Genesis 10. Genesis 10 is the genealogy of Noah. Genesis 10:1 tells us that the 3 sons of Noah were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Down it says Ham had Cush, and then Cush had Nimrod. So Nimrod in the Bible is Noah's great-grandson. Now, why am I talking about Nimrod? Because Nimrod is Gilgamesh. In the Bible, we learn that Nimrod established a very large kingdom. He was essentially the first king of the world, and it also says that he ruled over all of the other sons of Noah. Now, because of this, there were many different peoples that would write about Nimrod. It was their personal account of who Nimrod was. The Babylonians wrote about him, the Assyrians wrote about him, the Hittites wrote about him. It says even in Palestine, tablets have been found with this man's name on them. He was obviously the most popular hero in the ancient Near East. And of course, the Sumerians wrote about him in the Epic of Gilgamesh. I'm going to go back to Genesis 10 to find out about Nimrod's kingdom. This is Genesis 10:8, and it says up at the top, he began to be a mighty one on the earth. We'll go back to that verse later. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Therefore it is said, like Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. Verse 10, and the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh in the land.
Would you believe me that Google says that if you stare at the sun for 2 minutes straight, you go blind for the rest of your life?
I think it's been 2 minutes and you've been staring at the sun.
And I've been doing it for 5 or 6 years,
wow.
A couple hours a day. It's euphoric. You get vitamin D, vitamin A, melatonin, melanin, serotonin, and dopamine released from staring at the sun.
So staring at the sun cannot hurt your eyes or make you blind?
Everyone is brainwashed that the sun would hurt their eyes.
So do you think I'm losing out on vitamin D wearing sunglasses right now?
I don't think you're missing out. I know you are. People that wear sunglasses, the eyes are covered from the sun. The eyes are covered, and it tricks the brain into thinking that there's no sunshine. The brain doesn't release the chemicals, vitamin D, vitamin A, melatonin, all the things that your body needs to be healthy.
All right.
Don't scroll. This is very, very dangerous. This is very dangerous. The favor God's releasing on your life is a dangerous favor. It can provoke jealousy. It can cause people to be upset with you, but it's the favor of God. God's releasing dangerous favor right now. You're about to walk in things you've never walked in before. You're about to step into realms you've never seen before. If you believe that, write favor in the comment section and share.
Century France, women would slip a cucumber inside their body for hours, then serve it to a man to eat. They believed this was the secret to controlling him. As soon as he swallowed that enchanted cucumber, his body would ignite, stronger, more enduring, easier to dominate. Back then, people truly believed a woman's body held mysterious powers. Old manuscripts described the most popular remedy: blend breath, incantations, and the body's most private secrets into food. That way, a man would grow stronger, yet more dependent, unable to resist. Even more disturbing was another practice. Some women waited for their period, carefully collecting a few drops of menstrual blood. They would slip it into a man's wine during dinner. The red liquid dissolved instantly, leaving no trace. Others mixed it into bread or stews, hidden under the spices, impossible to detect. To them, this gave men more power in bed, but also chained their hearts and bodies forever. In this belief, love was never romance. It was pure control, the most intimate food used to dominate the most secret desires.
Don't give them any ideas.
Some things you just cannot make up. So this building in Bronx, New York, a high-rise building, partially collapsed, as y'all can see by the picture. As of right now, they are reporting no one was injured. But I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Look at the fucking building. I wouldn't be surprised if someone lost their life or someone got injured. That shit is crazy, fool. So they believe this started with the incinerator shaft. And they believe that a gas explosion happened. All I know is, if I was there, I'm finna get paid. Imagine you lived in this building, and then you just feel a whole shit rattle and shake and shit. And then imagine if you, one of the other people that live in another building just like this, you'd probably be thinking like, damn, if it can happen to this building, maybe my building about to be happening like that too. Check on y'all people. I'm telling you, a picture and video probably don't do justice. That shit is crazy, bruh. That's why they always say tomorrow is never promised, because you got shit like this, some final destination shit. Y'all go check on y'all people. Let me know how y'all feel about this down below in the comments.
We've all heard the story. Back in December of 1972, Apollo 17 blasted off and went to the moon. As you could see here, there's the blast off. And there are the media reports that match exactly what they taught us in school. But if this is all supposedly true, then what is this? Take a listen to this.
This is the first time we're going to send humans to the moon, and we're going to have humans in low Earth orbit.
What?
That is awesome. Like, we should, as humanity, we should take a brief moment
Thought
to
we
go,
went in
that's
72.
awesome.
So thinking about it, back from when you were told this as a young child to up to this date, a lot of people don't believe that they went to the moon. Keep in mind that the moon is at least 250,000 miles away from Earth. And the technology they had back then, as opposed to what we have now, and their claims that we been there, but we just can't go back, just don't add up to a lot of people. So then it all points to this technology that they had back then, as opposed to the technology that they have now, that this was better technology than what we have now, and that's the reason why we could never go back to the moon until now. So once again, we were able to get to the moon back in the 70s with that technology, but we have not been able to go back in the 2000s. So as a fact, always over time, the truth always comes out one way or another. Now, you heard it with your own ears, and if you weren't paying close attention, take a listen to it one more time.
This is the first time we're going to send humans to the moon, and we're going to have humans in low Earth orbit. That is awesome.
First time.
Like, we should, as humanity, we should take a brief moment to go, that's awesome.
So I guess my question to you is, after hearing that clip for the second time, do you personally believe we went to the moon back in the 70s? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
And the president made a phone call to the moon. Nixon.
5 behaviors that make cats feel unloved, especially the last one. First, blowing air into their ears. Cats absolutely hate this. Unlike dogs, they find it extremely uncomfortable, and it can make them less affectionate toward you. Second, forcibly holding them when they're grown. If you keep hugging and refusing to let go, adult cats may feel resistant and uneasy, eventually leading them to dislike you. Third, staring directly into their eyes. Cats strongly dislike prolonged eye contact. To them, staring is a sign of provocation and threat, especially when they're nervous or sleeping. Staring too long can make them more anxious and even trigger defensive behavior. Fourth, handing them over to strangers. Now, when friends visit, many cat owners like to show off their pets, but if you suddenly pass your cat to someone else, in the cat's world, this feels like abandonment. As a result, the cat may become aggressive or fearful. Fifth, shaving off all their fur. In hot weather, many owners think shaving a cat will help it cool down, but this is a huge mistake. Cats' skin is very different from ours. They don't have sweat glands all over their bodies, only on their paw pads. That's why your cat may have sweaty little feet. Shaving their fur exposes them to mosquito bites and skin diseases, and it also hurts their self-esteem.
Anything can be learned. I can start playing golf like Tiger Woods. The only thing that separates me to Tiger Woods is desire and repetition. So when you bugger off to the pub, or you sit and watch your favorite TV program, I study charts. I go over the trading day. Just like Tiger Woods, when everyone else hit the clubhouse, he went and worked out. And there's no shortcuts. You can't buy a book. You can't attend a course. You can't listen to anyone. You see, you can't be taught anything. I cannot teach you anything. You have to decide to teach yourself. I can guide you, but ultimately you, in any endeavor in life, be it sport, be it politics, be it education, you have to want it yourself. And that's what separates 99% for the 1%, the ones that truly dream and dare.
This is good.
And go for their goals and their vision.
Doing a short-term reset is powerful. The way I think about it is, how do you turn your body back to its original factory settings? When a baby comes out, it's generally perfect, right? It's beautiful, it's healthy, everything works, right? And then things break down. But imagine it like if your computer's not working or it's on the fritz and I just had to reboot my computer. How do you do that with your body? And that's really what this dietary change that I call the 10-day detox diet is about. It's about really putting your body back to its original factory settings. For most people, it will create a dramatic shift. If you don't get better from it, it's usually because there's something more serious.
What in the forehead is going on?
What in the forehead?
What have you done? Oh, you son of a bitch. But he's not real. He is not real. It's a story that's been made up. You told me that he wasn't real. Who is this? Who the hell is
this?
So somebody's
Crazy,
trying to say
man.
that Yakub was a real person. And he died in 4,570 BCE. And now you're trying to tell me that KSI is a reincarnated version? Oh, you son of a forehead. So Yakub was known
Son of a forehead.
scientist, and they say he was the first racist towards black people. He hated his own kind, but many years later, the story of Yakub was debunked. Apparently, somebody made it up. Now, I don't know what the truth is, but if this is Yakub reincarnated, everybody's getting smoked.
Crazy.